Hello everyone. I thought that perhaps I might share with you a glimpse of how my family and I are learning to live with COVID-19 on the other side of the world, in South China, in the Hong Kong countryside. Many people aren't aware that Hong Kong has countryside, but yes it does, and quite a lot of it. My wife and children love hiking, and they can step straight from the doorway of our village house into the mountains and roam the landscape for hours on end without setting eyes on a single other person. They may run into our local herds of wild cattle and water buffalo. The cattle are very gentle and will block the path amiably till you nudge them out of the way. The buffalo are massive and have very big horns, but they won't do you any harm unless you actually provoke them. Sometimes I do have to remind my wife that South China is not the home counties. There are 8 different kinds of dangerous snakes in the bushes, including cobras and banded crate. But you're not likely to encounter these unless you really insist on trampling through the undergrowth at 3 o'clock in the morning. One hazard we do have to put up with is exposure to the elements. There's no road into town, and to go to the shops means a 10-minute bicycle ride or 20 minutes on foot. If it rains, and the rain comes down in sheets at this time of year, you just have to get soaked. Fortunately, the rain is a warm rain, so you just have to think in terms of taking a warm shower. Unlike my wife and children, I do not love hiking, to put it mildly. And even if I did, I couldn't take part in it, as I'm stricken with arthritis. So much of the time I'm confined to the house. I'm quite lucky, however, in that I'm the ultimate bookworm. Our house contains as many books as a medium-sized bookshop, and I simply burrow through these, year in and year out, going straight from one book to another, and alternating where possible between fact and fiction, history and current affairs, biography, and the occasional work of popular science. I belong, sadly, to, I suppose, the last generation that was allowed to get through school without acquiring the most basic scientific knowledge. But I enjoy what little science I can understand, in particular astronomy. We have a roof terrace from which I can sometimes see a few stars, a great rarity in Hong Kong. But even here in the countryside, they're mostly blotted out by artificial lighting. What a pity it is that, just as we're learning more about the universe than ever before, we've lost the ability to see it. And when I'm not reading or stargazing, I can look around for my children, who happen to share my taste for old-fashioned board games, Scrabble, Risk, Cluedo, or a more recent one called Catan. In a more general sense, I'm lucky in that I've been quietly writing and researching about subjects relating to China on a freelance basis for many years. Self-isolation is my natural state. I'm contented so long as I have a goal in front of me in the form of a book project. And I can carry on plodding towards that goal for long periods. Sometimes I fear straining the patience of my wonderful family and my long-suffering publishers. Limping around the village on my afternoon walk, I passed the house of a neighbour who's a retired woodworking expert from one of the Hong Kong universities. He's busy with his carpentry at all times, and I feel that although his interests are very different, he's buoyed up by his goal in the same way as I am by mine. What I'll do at the end of my present book, I'm not yet sure. Not, I think, embark on another full-length volume. Possibly I'll write some articles, or take up another language, Portuguese, Albanian. Whatever I do, I hope to tackle in the spirit of our dear friend Clare Hollingworth, the celebrated war correspondent who scoops the news of the German invasion of Poland in 1939. Clare lived on here in Hong Kong to the age of 105, but was always ready for another assignment. And she never failed to tune in to the BBC World Service every night.